The 78th United Nations General Assembly, taking place in New York City in the United States of America, is being held at the UN headquarters. During the sidelines of the engagements, the Secretary-General of the East African Community, Dr. Peter Mathuki, says UN is considering to scale down the size of its Monusco forces in the war-torn Eastern DRC.
And now that they are downsizing presence of Monusco, and that came out clearly during the speech of President Tshisekedi of DRC, as they try to narrow the presence of Monusco, they need to expand and support of the East African Regional Force. And that is basically what is coming out.
Dr. Mathuki is expected to meet the UN Security Council to discuss the way forward.
On Monday and Tuesday, I'll be meeting members of the Security Council, the permanent members of Security Council who have agreed to meet me, and I'll be able to explain this. And already, you know, there is a budget that we prepared that we feel that if this is done, then our regional force will be able to do a commendable job. Already you have seen that there is cessation of hostilities in Eastern DRC.
This comes at a time when the East African community has developed a budget of about $250 million to support the EAC standby force operations in DRC.
They done a budget of close to $250 million. That would require to at least run the regional force for the next 1 year. So that is basically what we are pushing for. If we get between $250 to $300 million, that will be able to maintain, because we have close to 5,000 troops in Eastern DRC. Even if we get a fifth of the budget that is given to Monusco to be given to support the East African Regional Force, we are going to do a lot to ensure stability of peace in Eastern DRC.
Dr. Mathuki also held bilateral talks with the President of the Democratic Republic of Congo, Felix Tshisekedi, on the matter. Dr. Mathuki says he also held talks with the UN Security Council officials in the region on how they can partner with the EAC to combat terrorism.
Terrorists have taken advantage, and how do we combat this? So we have agreed that we set up an MOU, a framework, a roadmap of how the UN Secretary-General is going to work with East Africa, so that one, they can build capacity, but number two, to ensure that the next summit on combating terrorism will be in Nigeria, in line with the meeting that was held yesterday. But now the second one, we have actually agreed that it will be held in East Africa.
One of the major achievements that the East African Community Secretary-General, Dr. Peter Mathuki, has achieved at the UN General Assembly in New York is that the UN has agreed to narrow down the Monusco forces operating in DRC so that the funds can go to East African standby force. Jjingo Francis, NTV, at the UN in the United States of America.